Hey there, welcome. You've probably realized that we're living in an amazing time of technological advancement, particularly in the realm of artificial intelligence. Today, I want to explore how you can become a high-functioning producer using the latest AI technologies. So in this video, I'm going to teach you some of the best methods and tools to create amazing apps, videos, images, and music using AI. Also, by the end of the video, I'm going to give you access to my own guide or cheat sheet, which tells you exactly which model to use for each purpose. So let's dive in. The key isn't just knowing which tools exist, but also understanding how to use them effectively, turning potential into real results. So let's first consider the world of web and application development. For many, this can seem like a daunting field, traditionally requiring deep coding knowledge and an eye for design. But what if you could streamline this process, bringing sophisticated ideas to life with relative ease? This is where a model like Claude 4 Sonnet comes into its own. It's not just about generating code, it's about crafting high-quality, aesthetically pleasing web applications and assisting with complex coding projects. For instance, in a moment I'll show you a quick demo where we will create a personal portfolio website for a software engineer based in Australia. You'll see how, with the right prompts, we can achieve a really polished result. So you simply open up Claude, you tell it what you're looking for, and it produces a high-quality website. You can also switch between the result view or the code view. Then you can either deploy a shareable version of the project through Claude, or you can copy the code and do with it what you want. So while Claude 4 tends to win out most of the time when it comes to pure design aesthetics, it's worth giving an honorable mention to Google's Gemini 2.5 Pro, which is also very capable, especially for these kinds of relatively straightforward development tasks. I will make a more advanced video in the future about AI mobile app development, but for this one we're focusing on the web because it's a little bit more user-friendly and beginner-friendly. So here are the 3 tips to get the most out of these services and models. The first tip is iterative dialogue for design. So don't just ask for a website or something really simple. Describe the feel that you want, like minimalist and professional or vibrant and playful. Provide some examples of sites you admire, then iterate. Ask for changes to color palettes, layout adjustments, or different component styles. Treat it like a dialogue with a designer who also codes. And if you don't know what exactly you're looking for, create a simple setup prompt so that the large language model acts like a web designer going through a list of questions to work out what you want. This is sort of mimicking the interaction you would have with a consultant. So the tip number 2 is component-based building. For larger projects, ask Claude or your chosen model to generate individual components. Something like a navigation bar, a product card, a contact form. You can then assemble these, ensuring that each part is refined before integrating it into the whole. This is particularly useful for something like a business site where you might want separate sections and widgets that get reused across the site. And the third one is from high level to detail. An alternative approach is to start with a broad request, like create a personal portfolio website for a software engineer based in Australia, highlighting their skills in Python and cloud technologies. Once you have a basic structure, drill down into specifics, like refine the hero section with a professional headshot placeholder and a tagline, building innovative solutions down under. So next, let's turn to image generation. Visuals are vital in today's content landscape, whether that be platforms like Instagram, YouTube thumbnails, or content branding. Tools like ChatGPT 4o's image generation are lowering the barrier to entry for digital artistry and design. The ability to conjure almost any image imaginable from a textual prompt is very powerful. You can use it to create posters, icons, logos, or even design concepts. So here are some tips for image generation. The first one is the power of adjectives and artistic styles. So don't just say a cat, say a fluffy ginger cat curled up asleep on a sun-drenched windowsill, and maybe an impressionist painting style or soft focus, something more deep and aesthetic. The more descriptive you are, specifying artistic movements like cyberpunk, lighting like dramatic lighting or golden hour, and composition the closer you'll get to your vision. The next one is to specify aspect ratios and camera angles. So let's say you need an image for a YouTube thumbnail, that's usually in the form of 16:9 aspect ratio, or maybe you need something that's Instagram friendly, therefore it's an inversion of that. Specify your aspect ratio in the prompt. You can also suggest camera angles like wide shot, close up, or even drone view. And the third one is iteration and in-painting or out-painting. If the first image isn't perfect, use it as a starting point. Many tools allow you to edit parts of an image, which is called in-painting, or expand its borders, which is out-painting. You can ask the AI to change the cat's eye color to blue, for example, or add a streaming mug of coffee next to the cat. Now let's move on to something that's more recent but truly transformative, which is video generation. The idea of creating compelling video content without a camera crew or complex editing software is fast becoming a reality, with models like Google's VO3 leading the charge. Again, it works in a similar way. You specify your prompt and then the video will be generated based on it. But I have a few tips that makes this a lot easier and a lot more effective. The first one is a very underrated tip, which is before you even approach something like VO3, use a powerful language model like ChatGPT or Gemini to flesh out your initial idea. If your concept is a futuristic robot exploring a city, ask the LLM to describe the scene in vivid detail. The rich, detailed prompt that it outputs will give VO3 far more to work with. Here's one I did for my latest video showing a street interview in London.
By the way, this is all AI generated.
The next tip is to think cinematically. Use terms that describe camera shots and movements. An establishing shot of an alien planet, for example, or a tracking shot following the spaceship. Specify mood and atmosphere, eerie and suspenseful, uplifting and hopeful. These are all examples that will really elevate the quality of your videos. Next, tip 3 is storyboarding with prompts. For larger videos, break your narrative into key scenes. Generate short clips for each scene and then you can assemble them later. This allows for more control and refinement of each segment. And now we move on to music generation. For so long, creating original music required instrumental skill or complex software. But now tools like Suno 4.5 are changing that, allowing you to generate unique royalty-free music for your projects or even full songs.
We left Earth chasing flavors untold, rocket engines hot and the cosmos cold.
The first tip is genre, mood and instrumentation are key. Be specific. Instead of happy music, try uplifting indie folk track with acoustic guitar, light percussion and a gentle piano melody. Suitable for a travel vlog. The more detail you provide about the genre, desired mood and specific instruments, the better the result. The next one is structure and tempo. If you have a particular structure in mind, like a verse, chorus, bridge, chorus, or a desired tempo, then you might want to include this in your prompt. And the last one is lyrical themes. If you're generating a song with vocals, provide lyrical themes, keywords, or even a few lines to guide the AI. This is particularly true in something like Suno. You can then refine the generated lyrics or use them as a strong starting point. So beyond these specific use cases, a general principle applies across the board. AI is a collaborator, not just an order taker. The quality of your output is directly proportional to the quality of your input, and your willingness to iterate and be specific, be clear and be patient will definitely increase the quality of your results. Overall, try to experiment, refine, and don't be afraid to push the boundaries of what these tools can do. So what does all this mean for becoming a successful creator or professional in this new landscape? It means that the barriers to entry for high quality content creation and complex development are lower than ever. It means that your unique ideas and your vision can be amplified and brought to life with unprecedented speed and sophistication. Also, it's worth pointing out that it might seem like AI is everywhere at the moment, but the actual percentage of creators is still quite small. This is like being back in the year 2010, and it felt like YouTube was oversaturated even then with content creators. But today we can see that in reality it was still in its infancy. Speaking of YouTube though and content creation, I've recently made an AI app to help creators up their game. If you're interested in making high quality videos with the help of AI, check out the link in the description. Anyway, the thing is, we're moving into an era where adaptability and the skill of prompt engineering, which is effectively communicating your intent to AI, is becoming incredibly valuable. That's why I recommend you learn to use AI effectively and build with it as soon as possible. Of course, the landscape is constantly evolving. New models and capabilities will emerge, but the core principles of clear communication, iterative refinement, and a creative vision will remain paramount. It's an exciting time, one that empowers individuals to become incredibly productive and innovative. Now, if you've made it this far, I'm going to share the access code for my AI cheat sheet. This will remain up to date with the best models and services for each use case. For example, if you want to know what the best model is for coding or for video generation, this is the place to go. Again, the link is in the description. By the way, I'd love to hear your thoughts about what AI tools you're most excited about. How are you using them? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this video helpful, I'd really appreciate if you could like and subscribe. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next one.